time I post a cake with these beautiful fondant rosary beads on it, people ask me how I do it. And in this video, I'm going to show you how. So I got this mold years ago. It's from First Impressions Mold, and they do still have it on Amazon. However, it does sell out quickly. I will link that in the description for you. Now, I have Tylose powder mixed into my fondant. I only use marshmallow fondant. I make my own, and I sprinkle some of this Tylose powder in there, knead it in the fondant, and let it sit. And it's going to set a little bit harder, and it's going to be so much easier to work with. Store-bought fondant is notoriously soft, and it's a little difficult to work with. That's why I recommend making marshmallow fondant. I will link the Tylose powder below. So I have some Crisco shortening and a paintbrush, and I'm just getting shortening in all of these little cavities along with the cross and that little medallion section as well. And I'm rolling out this gold fondant really thin, and I'm peeling it away with my one thumb to kind of open it up. And then I'm dipping my other thumb in cornstarch so it doesn't stick to the fondant. And I'm just really trying to press this log of fondant all the way down into that mold. You see how I'm opening it with my thumb to make sure the fondant can get all the way down there. And then I'm ripping off the excess, dip my finger in cornstarch and really press that down. Then I have a really sharp knife, and I got a little bit of shortening on there, and I'm holding the knife flat and I'm just cutting off the excess fondant. And then once I have that cut, I'm taking my fingers and really pressing that down into the mold to smooth it out. And I'm doing the same thing for the other one, pulling the mold open so I can fit the fondant in there, remove the excess, press it down with my finger dipped in some cornstarch, and then take that knife and just shave off that excess fondant. And then to make this little medallion piece, I have a really tiny piece of fondant, and I'm just trying to fill that cavity and press it down so it's flush with the mold. And then I'm going to peel it back and carefully remove that so I don't distort it and set it aside. And then to do the cross, I just take some fondant, cover the entire thing, and I'm dipping my hand and my fingers in cornstarch so it doesn't stick. And I'm really pressing that fondant down into the mold, and then I can peel that away. And look at that beautiful detail on here. Then I'm taking my X-Acto knife and I'm cutting into it. Do you see how I'm holding it on an angle and cutting into the fondant? That way you're not going to be able to see the fondant sticking out of the edges. I hope that makes sense. So I'm just removing all the excess fondant, and then I'm taking my fingers and smoothing my cut so it looks nice and pretty. And then to remove these from the mold, I'm peeling the mold away. So I'm pressing that mold down to the countertop and just pulling it back. You got to take your time with this. These pieces are delicate, so they are prone to breakage. So you just have to work carefully with it. And then I want to paint it gold. So I have some Rolcom Super Gold and a little bit of lemon extract, and I mix that in a cup, and I'm tapping it on here and making sure that I get all of the edges around the side so you can't see any of this light gold. I like to do 2 coats. This lemon extract, it evaporates really quickly, so you could just do 1 coat, wait about 2 minutes, and then finish with the other coat to really bring out that gold color. And then I got my cake out of the refrigerator. I have some piping gel here. I'm getting a little bit of piping gel on the back, and I want this to be like kind of on an angle. So I'm putting it on an angle on the front of the top tier, and then I have the little medallion. The 2 circles are at the top, and there's 1 circle at the bottom. And then when I add this little bead here, I want to make sure that there's a straight line that's touching the cross, and then another straight line that touches the bead, or the medallion. So I had to remove the medallion so I could fit it in there and stick that back down. And now these pieces are very delicate, so I find that it's just easier for me to break off smaller pieces and work in sections. And again, I'm starting with a straight piece that's touching the medallion and then wrapping these around the cake. And in these beads, it goes straight pieces and then there's beads, and then straight pieces and then there's beads. So when you connect them, you want to make sure that you connect a straight piece to a bead. And I just go all the way around the cake. And look how pretty this is. I just love these fondant rosaries. I think they make your religious cakes really look so professional. And I love to do them in a bunch of different colors that coordinate with the cake. I do gold, I do silver like this one, and I don't always wrap it around the top. Sometimes I do it around the side of the tier. And I also have videos showing you how I make that cross cake topper. I will link that below as well. And make sure you follow or subscribe for more cake decorating tips.